Dee Dee, do the James Kent. Oh, okay. Thank you, Dee Dee. I'll do that right now. But first, the story. I'll tell the story on mine. Not maybe somebody wants to hear it. So when I was growing up in Cunningham, there was a guy named James Cannon, and Cannon family grew up there. They lived down there, and to paint a picture, they had a dugout in a hillside. Basically, they lived in a dugout. They had electricity. They had some water. They worked for my grandparents, and they kind of gave them the basic necessities and things like that. And hard worker. They couldn't read or write. Maybe they were not, highly educated, but that's not what it's all about. He was, but super hard work. And I just remember thinking, the loyalty. My grandmother could ask him to do, my granny could ask him to do anything, and he'd just go do it. You know what I mean? So I was laying at work. Laying at work. Let me clarify. I worked for the fire department, so we were there for 24 hours. That's why I was laying down at work. So I woke up at shift change, about to go off shift, and I woke up and I have no idea why. Other than just God just dropped in, I guess. I don't know, but I was just thinking about James, and he's already passed on. And I sit up in my bed and almost just kind of shake it off. I was like, oh man, whatever, And long story short, I ended up sitting at the kitchen table right before shift change. I wrote this, drinking coffee at work, just kind of in there by myself, and I just started writing, and they just started coming out. So the song's about James, and it's got a deeper meaning, but it's about him and kind of what he meant to me, I guess. Just well, you'll see. James Cannon was a rough man. He worked hard all his life. Wasn't blessed with finer things. He couldn't read or write. He grew up in an old shack just down from where I lived. Every day you'd see him walk to work to give all he could give. He worked for my grandparents, mowing grass and farming some. He couldn't pay much money, but they kept him fed and kept him warm. Every year for Christmas, he'd get a coat and a pair of gloves. He seldom would say thank you, but you could always feel the love. Every Sunday morning, you knew right where he'd be. Third row, center seat, he was there religiously. And when the preacher said amen, James would shake his hand. He knew where he was going, that he could understand. He knew what was important in this life, and the measure of a man. On the day that he was buried, folks came from miles around. They didn't know his story, but he still drew quite a crowd. One by one they told their stories of his faith and loyalty, and I couldn't help but think one day, I hope that's how they'd speak of me. Every Sunday morning, you know right where he'd be. Third row, center seat, he was there religiously. And when the preacher said amen, he would shake his hand. He knew where he was going, that he could understand. He knew what was important in this life, and the measure of a man. Yeah, the measure of a man. Thank you, DD. Appreciate it. There you go. Another original. You can, like I said, you can find all these if you like them. If you want to hear them again.